Hey friend, welcome back to Acre Homestead. We are in my kitchen, but we are not cooking today. We've got a huge seed haul that we are going to go through today. This is my seed haul from M.I. Gardener. I only ordered seeds from 3 companies this year. M.I. Gardener is where I usually start my seed shopping because his seeds are so affordable. I like supporting his business. I've learned so much from him over the years through his YouTube garden channel, and this is just usually where I start. I do like to buy some seeds in bulk, so I also placed an order through Johnny Seeds. I like Johnny Seeds because I can order in bulk, and I can also order pelleted seeds through Johnny Seeds. I can't get pelleted seeds through M.I. Gardener. Pelleted seeds are just seeds that are, it's the seeds that are really teeny tiny. What they do is they put a little clay coating around it so that they're easier to pick up and sow in the ground. I like to order carrot pelleted seeds so that I can place them in the ground a little bit more strategically, and then when they germinate, I don't have to go through and thin them as much. So that's why I like to order most of my carrot seeds through Johnny Seeds. And then I did order an order through rareseeds.com, which is Baker Creek, because there were some specific colors of flowers I wanted, and I could only get them, I could only find them on their website. Their seeds are fantastic, but they are a little bit more expensive, so that's generally why I don't start there. So I'm gonna take a second and organize these into categories, and then we'll go over them together. I cannot believe that it is this time of year. Before I jump into the seed haul, I am gonna touch on a little bit about the differences between an heirloom variety, an open pollinated, a hybrid seed, and a GMO seed. This is just touching on the subjects, what I order, and we'll just go from there. So the first thing is a heirloom variety and an open pollinated are kind of one in the same. An open pollinated variety means that it is a tomato where if you plant the tomato, it grows, it produces fruit, you save seed from that fruit. Then when you go to plant the saved seeds the next year, you are going to get the same fruit. You know what it is. You can kind of think of it as like a purebred dog. You know, this is a Yorkshire Terrier. If you breed 2 Yorkshire Terriers together, you know what that offspring is going to look like. That's kind of how I think of heirloom or open pollinated varieties of fruits and vegetables. The differences between an heirloom variety typically and an open pollinated just means that an heirloom variety is one that is old. It has a history, it has a story and a story behind it. And so heirloom and open pollinated are kind of one and the same. Heirloom typically are older, they have a story that goes along them, they've been handed down for generations of generations. You can have an open pollinated variety that's just not as old, but it is a stable, the genes in that variety are stable. When you think of a hybrid plant, some people worry, oh, should I only buy heirloom and hybrid? I don't know if I should buy a hybrid. I buy hybrid plants and I plant them in my garden because I don't save seeds from everything I grow. Some things I purchase seeds every single year, and sometimes when I'm going to buy seeds, I buy them based on their disease resistance or what they've been bred to, their character traits. So a hybrid seed is just where you take a mother plant and another mother plant, you breed these 2 together, and their offspring has specific characteristics that you want. The problem with that though is if then you save seed from that daughter plant and you go to plant that, you are not going to get a fruit that is true to either the mother or the father plant or that fruit that it was produced. The genes aren't stable. And so I think of, you can think of that as if you breed a lab with a poodle, you're going to get a labradoodle is going to be its offspring. But if you then breed that labradoodle the first generation, you don't know if that offspring is going to have more of the lab characteristics or the poodle characteristics. So it's just not as stable of a gene, like the gene is not stable. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that if you save the seed, you don't know exactly what you're going to get. You can save that seed, but a lot of times when you have a hybrid seed, it's because these 2 parent plants, when bred together, produce something that is disease resistant or heat resistant or whatever that might be that you're looking for. So for example, I grow a hybrid zucchini plant because it is mildew resistant. It's stronger against powdery mildew, and that's why I grow it. I'm never gonna save zucchini seeds to grow in my garden, so that is why I don't mind ordering hybrid seeds, because that is the thing. If you grow hybrid seeds, you have to order those seeds every year if you want those characteristics to be true every year. And then GMO seeds, you'll see on seed packets, not MI Gardeners, but a lot of times when you're in the big box stores and you'll see their seed displays, it'll say non-GMO seeds all over it. And that is just a marketing term. As a home gardener, you cannot purchase a GMO seed. You have to be a commercial grower in order to produce them. You have to have a big contract with the seed producers, and it's just not something you can purchase yourself. So you don't really need to worry about trying to find non-GMO seeds when you're out shopping for seeds, because it's something you as a home gardener, I as a home gardener, can just not purchase. Now, what a GMO seed is, it's where they take a seed and they take a gene from another species and they insert that gene into the plant, and that produces characteristics that when you plant it, what it might be, you know, drought resistant or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not going to get into whether GMO seeds are good or bad. I'm just saying what they are. It's where you have a plant, you take this gene from another species and you insert that in a lab to create a GMO seed. So don't worry about when you're going shopping to find non-GMO seeds. The other question I get a lot when I talk about seeds is, do I worry if the seeds, when I purchase them, are organic or non-organic? I don't worry about it because I am growing in an organic garden. So I know that the fruit that the plant produces is going to be organic fruit. I have not done a lot of research on it, but I'm not worried about if the farmer that grew the seed grew it in an organic manner. It would, if I'm thinking like broad spectrum, like in the environment, it probably would be better to buy organic because then I know that there's less chemicals being sprayed out there. But when it comes to then purchasing the seed to plant in my garden, do I worry about it being an organic plant or not when I grow it in my garden? I'm going to consider it organic for myself because I'm not personally spraying anything on the actual plant in my garden, if that makes sense. So that, I just want to say a little bit about that. I know that there's a lot more that could be said about that. That's just like it's just the way that I have thought about it in my head that makes sense to me. So now let's go ahead and get into this seed haul. I didn't have to order a ton of seeds this year because I already have quite a few seeds in my seed collection. I want to grow a lot more black beans, but I've saved seeds from seeds that I'd grown years in the past. But I also want to try cannellini beans this year. So I got 5 packets of cannellini beans, and we are going to attempt to grow and dry cannellini beans, and so that we can then can them, because I don't have any white beans canned on my pantry shelf. So I thought it'd be fun if we could attempt to grow, dry, and preserve them up. So that's pretty easy. A packet of Oregon snow peas. I love these. These are one of my favorite snacks in the garden, just to have growing that I can go and snack on while I'm in the garden. I don't have any asparagus out there. I'm gonna grow some asparagus from seed. I'm also gonna buy some 2-year-old roots to plant so that we can get a jump start on our asparagus harvest. If you plant from seeds, it's typically about 3, usually about 4 years, depending on the plant, before you can harvest it. But if you buy 2-year-old roots, then you can jump start that. So I think we're gonna try to do both this year. So I got a package of those. I actually ordered, it looks like 4 packets of snow peas. Those are fantastic. Now, one thing I want to try to grow a ton from seed this year is herbs. I have grown a lot of cilantro in my garden in the past, but I've never grown enough to preserve. I ordered 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 packets of cilantro, and we are going to try to grow enough to harvest and freeze dry. I do not like dehydrated cilantro. It does not keep its flavor and its color, but I love freeze-dried cilantro, so that is why I'm gonna try to grow a ton of it, preserve it up before it bolts on me. If I can just grow a ton of it, harvest it all at once, and then preserve it, that's gonna be my goal. I've always grown a ton of it, and then I eat it fresh, but then it all bolts because I can't eat enough of it, but now that I have a freeze dryer, that's gonna be my goal. Now, I could purchase a lot of these next ones as starts in my area, but I thought, hey, why not try to grow them from seed myself? And these are some of the herbs, because we're starting completely over on an herb garden. My last house had a very established herb garden. We are starting over and we're gonna try to do it from seed. So the first one is broadleaf sage, pretty straightforward. The next one is summer savory. I have never grown this before, so this is gonna be new. Parsley. And I have a ton of flat leaf parsley, so I got a curly parsley this time. Italian oregano. He was out of regular basil when I ordered, so I saw this mammoth basil. I have never grown this before, but I thought this would be fun. One of the things that I did order through Johnny's was just some regular Italian basil. And then the only things I ordered through Johnny's, I might as well tell you right now, I ordered bolero carrots, I grew those last year. Napoli carrots, both pelleted, jade green beans, and a couple different flowers. And then I ordered sweet marjoram. I do need a couple more. I might buy starts on things like rosemary, and I think that's the only one that I didn't get is rosemary. So maybe I'll buy a start. I'm not sure exactly, but I thought it would be fun to try to grow some herbs from seeds. Some years I have success and some years I don't. The next thing that I ordered a few of, I love growing. This is probably one of my favorite things to grow, and that is winter squash. So I want to grow a ton of them this year. Last year I planted a ton of them and hardly any of them germinated. I only had 3 plants germinate, and I think I planted 25 or 30 seeds. So this year we're gonna try to do better. I was a little distracted last year. So the first one I purchased is sweet meat. This is my absolute favorite winter squash for preserving and making things out of, like pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie. It is the dense flesh. It's not watery at all. It's super dense. And so when you go to cook it, you don't have to cook out or strain out a bunch of water. It's already really rich and creamy and delicious. I also want to grow a bunch of pumpkins for decorating, and so that is why I ordered these 2 next one. This is a mini pumpkin. It's a baby boo pumpkin, and I want to decorate my tables and inside with these mini white pumpkins. I love white pumpkins for decorating. And then I also got these flat white pumpkins that are a stacking pumpkin, and I also want to decorate my front porch with these. And this is also one of my favorite pumpkins. This is probably the most prolific winter squash out of any of the ones I've ever grown. This is a Cinderella pumpkin. It also makes a very good eating pumpkin. It's a lot more watery though than your sweet meat, so you do have to strain it a little bit, but it tastes delicious and it's flat and cute, and I will decorate my front porch with this pumpkin. And now that I have so much more space, so many more boxes to grow in, I thought, let's try this. I've never attempted to grow a giant pumpkin before. So this is one of those really, really, really big pumpkins. I have no idea. It's an Atlantic giant pumpkin. It says it can grow up to 500 to 1,000 pounds. Each vine can produce 4 to 6 medium pumpkins or 1 really large one. So I think if you want 1 large one, you cut off the extra. And it says that if you keep the 4 to 6 pumpkins, they'll be about 40 pounds. So I don't know, this is just gonna be fun if it ends up being chicken food or something, because it's not a good tasting pumpkin. I thought that this would be just a fun experiment. It says that this pumpkin variety holds the world's record for the largest pumpkin ever grown. So there we go, we're gonna try it. I don't think I'm gonna try to break any records or anything, but I thought that would be fun. This is the only pepper that I purchased this year. The back of it says that this is a hot, hot, hot pepper. It's one of the hottest heirloom peppers in the world. Plants will produce large amount of medium-sized fruits. I like to make really, 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 really hot sauce for my brother, so I am going to try to grow this. It says this pepper has a smoky floral note, which sounds delicious, and that it originated in India, and it just sounded like a really good pepper. So we're gonna try to grow this for my brother. And then I have seen people grow this melon. I planted seeds of this melon last year and they did not germinate at all. So I still have seeds, but I thought I would get a new packet, and we're gonna attempt to do it again this year. This is an heirloom variety that is native to North America, and it is one, I think it was Nicole from Flower Hill Farm that talked about this melon being a really, really delicious melon. So we're gonna give that a try this year again. It looks like I did order 1 packet of carrots from M.I. Gardener. It says that these are a favorite for market gardeners and home gardeners alike. The Royal Chantney carrot produces uniform roots that are between 5 and 8 inches long. Bright orange roots, one of the sweet, oh, this is why I ordered it, because it said it's one of the sweetest flavor profiles. It remains tender, very blight resistant, and has your classic snap. Easy to grow for containers and beginners because of its wide roots and blunt tip. So that is one that I'm gonna give a try. I've never grown this variety of carrots before, so I'm excited to give that a try. Carrots are probably one of my favorite things to grow. A homegrown carrot tastes nothing like a store-bought carrot. I ordered 3 different varieties of lettuce. This one is a slow bolt. It has slow bolt in the name. That is why I ordered it. It says this aromatic herb, wait, what? This is an herb. This is epazote. So going back to the herb, I guess I just organized this wrong, so I only ordered 2 lettuces. This is supposed to taste like cilantro, but it's not supposed to bolt. It is native to Central America, and it does really, really well in warm climates. It says this aromatic herb is native to Central and South America and is used for its fresh leaves and tender stems, traditionally to give flavor to bean dishes. A pungent flavor with a hint of oregano, anise, and mint. Okay, I'm wrong. For some reason, I thought this was supposed to taste like cilantro, but it says that it tastes like oregano, anise, and mint. It says epazote should not be used for medicinal purposes or in excess. Consumption should be avoided by pregnant women. So that is something to note. I have never grown this before. I saw someone grow it years and years and years and years ago. So when I saw it on the website, I added it to my cart, and that'll be a fun thing to try. And then I did get 2 lettuces. I got a slow bolt romaine style lettuce and then a green kind of like tender leafy lettuce. So super excited about those. I cannot wait to have greens again, fresh greens from the garden. The next thing I ordered were tomatoes. Did I need more tomato seeds? Probably not. Was I gonna order more tomato seeds? Of course I was. So that is what I did. Now last year, I don't know how, but I did not plant any cherry tomatoes. How is that even possible? I don't know. So I did make sure that I ordered a cherry tomato. This is an indeterminate variety that grows in clusters with 40-ish tomatoes per cluster. So I thought I would give that a try. I made that TikTok viral pasta, and I want to make sure I grow a lot of these to be able to make that pasta throughout the summer because it was so delicious. The one where you put the feta cheese, the tomatoes, you roast it in the oven. Really, really good. The next one I ordered was this rose tomato, just because of the name and the way it looked. It says that it's rich, sweet flavor, evenly balanced between sweet and acid. A shiny flesh with great disease resistance. It's always good to look for varieties that say disease resistance because then they tend to be a little bit of a stronger plant. So I thought I would give these rose tomatoes a try. The next tomato I ordered was this trophy tomato because of the name. Sometimes, yes, I order seeds because I like the name, and it says this 1870s variety is the first smooth, round tomato ever on the market. Once sold for $5 a pack, equivalent to $80 today in 1870. That is crazy. With a texture that is firm, thick-skinned, but still juicy and sweet. This is perfect all-purpose tomato, ideal for slicing, preserving, and stewing. So I thought I would give this one a try. It says that the fruit size is between 7 and 8 ounces. I'm excited about that one. The next one I ordered is Paul Robeson tomatoes. I planted these last year and I started them, but I think I may have killed the plants or something, but they never ended up in the garden, so I never got to try them. And I've heard some really good things about different gardeners on YouTube that really, really like this tomato. It says that this slightly flattened beefsteak variety has a smoky, earthy flavor. So it kind of has like a cult following online, so I want to give that a try, and I actually want to get those tomatoes in the garden, and I want to see if I can actually taste one this next year. This next tomato I ordered is a medium-sized orange tomato, and honestly, I'm not sure why I ordered this is why. I can't always remember when I open these packages, but then I start reading the description and I remember why I ordered it. It says this heirloom has a very low acid content, one of the sweetest slicing tomatoes, and this tomato received its name because its vibrant yellow-orange hue the flesh gives off, which makes it look like Valencia orange. Extremely productive and resistant to many early seasonal diseases. I'm excited to give this one a try. The next category of seeds that I have here are flowers. The first 2 years I gardened, I was not really interested in growing flowers at all. And then I started watching Nicole at Flower Hill Farm, and I'm so inspired by her that last year I really focused on growing a lot of flowers, and this year I again want to focus on growing even more flowers because I'm addicted. Flowers are just as important as food because you need the flowers for the pollinators, and there is something so incredibly gratifying about going out and cutting your own flowers and bringing them inside. It is an incredible feeling. So a couple of the flowers that I ordered are, I have a ton of flower seeds from last year, so I didn't have to order all the flower seeds that I want to grow, but there were a couple colors that I wanted to order this year. And the first two varieties I ordered are snapdragons. I ordered a white snapdragon and a rose colored snapdragon. This year, I really want to focus on growing a lot of whites and purples flowers and salmon-y color flowers because those are my favorite, which is why I ordered these zinnias, this zinnia that is a salmon color. Zinnias are one of the easiest flowers I think to grow, and I have a ton of varieties of flowers already in my collection, but I wanted a salmon color. The next flower I ordered is a dwarf white Cosmo. I ordered these for two reasons. One, because it's a dwarf variety. It only gets about 2 feet tall as versus the other type of cosmos, just your regular cosmos gets really, really tall. So I thought for a raised bed, a dwarf sunflower or dwarf cosmo would be really good. Last year I grew straw flowers for the first time in my garden, and they were pretty easy to grow and really beautiful. So I ordered a vintage white variety and a deep purple variety. Some lavender. I could buy lavender starts, but they're kind of expensive, so I thought I would try starting them from seed, so we're gonna give that a try. This is an aster. I have never grown aster before, so this is gonna be a new variety for me, and it looks like this needs to grow or be started indoors 6 to 8 weeks before our first frost date, which is getting really close. So I'm gonna set that aside, knowing that we're probably gonna start that when we start our peppers. The last thing that I got from My Gardener is this packet of mixed variety sunflowers. This is a mix of deep reds, yellows, bicolor varieties. I really love orange and yellows with purples, and so that is one reason why I do want to grow quite a few sunflowers in my garden this year. I do have quite a few seeds in my seed collection, so I just got this one packet because there's something so beautiful about the purples and the whites and the yellows together. So this is the last packet out of this huge seed haul we got. I think it's perfect for adding to my already pretty good size seed collection that I have already. Now, like I said, I did order from Johnny Seeds as well. I ordered carrot seeds, green beans. Oh, I did order also some eucalyptus seeds for planting for filler for my bouquets that hopefully I'm gonna be harvesting from my garden this year. I've heard that eucalyptus can be very, very tricky to grow, so we will see how well that eucalyptus grows. And then I did order some stock from rareseeds.com because there were some specific colors that I wanted. I've never grown stock before. It is a flower, and it is supposed to be very beautiful and very, very fragrant. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. I don't even know if I've ever seen stock in the store to buy when I buy flowers. I don't know. So I'm really excited about that. And that is the seeds. So I will probably show you at some point when I get my Johnny seed haul what it is, but it's not very exciting. It's those few things in it. And like I said, they are pelleted carrot seeds, and I bought a big bag of green beans because I was able to buy a big bag of green beans, and hopefully this year we are able to grow enough green beans to preserve, because last year the green beans in the garden, it was only enough to eat fresh out of the garden, which was fantastic. but I would like to be able to preserve some green beans this year if at all possible. And they were jade green beans, by the way. Don't forget, I will link My Gardener seeds down in the description box if you are interested in getting yourself some seeds. Right now is the perfect time to buy seeds, and I do have a discount code for you, along with if you purchase $12 or more on seeds, you get free shipping, and it is not hard to spend $12 on seeds. I will also link my seed starting equipment down below. I have, like I said, I'm going into my 4th year, and it is good to have that seed starting stuff now. Seed starting is just around the corner, and trust me, I have learned that it is important if you want to start seeds inside to have a grow light, a heat mat, and some good trays. So I will link my favorites down below, because the first 2 years I tried to grow seeds indoors without grow lights, and it was an epic fail. I wasted a ton of money on seeds by trying to start seeds inside without a grow light. I am excited that we are finally here. This is just the start of 2023's garden. Getting the seeds right now is the start, and the next thing I'm going to be doing is planning out where all the garden stuff is going to go out there, and I'm really excited for 2023's garden. I'm excited you're here with me. If you're not exactly sure when you should be starting seeds indoors, I will leave a link down below for the Farmer's Almanac, where you can type in your zip code and it will give you a list of all the varieties of fruits and veggies, and whether you should start them indoors, and if you should start them indoors, when you should start them indoors, depending on your zone for your zip code. That's why you'll type your zip code in, and then it'll also tell you if you want to just direct sow those, like certain things like peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, things like that, you want to start indoors before you transplant them out. But root vegetables or green beans, and there's certain things like that that don't really need to be started indoors. Corn, green beans, radishes, carrots, peas, it's not worth the effort to start those indoors. So it'll tell you those ones you should direct sow, and it'll tell you the date you should direct sow those. So if you're new to this, I feel like I'm still new to this, that website is something that I refer to every single year, and it is phenomenal. So I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. I'm excited for 2023's garden. I'm excited you're here along the journey. We're all in this together. I feel like a brand new gardener this year because I'm in a new spot, and it's going to be fun to see how this year unfolds, whether we are successful or not. I am going to consider any failure or anything that survives as a success, and if I kill something, I'm not going to call it a failure. I'm going to call it a learning experience, because I have learned more over the last 3 years of gardening by what I did wrong than what I've done right. So I'm excited for this year. So if you enjoyed this video, I will pop a couple of my other videos here. You can go enjoy between now and my next upload. And I just want to thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.